And journalists covering the aviation industry have been urged to put public interest first when reporting on stories around the industry. The charge was given by Chioma Agape Ubibi, the facilitator of two-day training for journalists covering the aviation industry by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) in Abuja. Here is the report as presented from our studios.
So we reframe that caption as passengers destroy airport monitor over flight delays.
So our headline would be mother and daughter stranded at airline unjustly.
This class activity by the journalists, divided into two groups, characterized most part of the final day of the two-day training to gauge the understanding and knowledge acquired from the teaching by the facilitator Chioma Agape Ubibi. The final day of the training focused on understanding the recent regulatory actions taken by the NCAA, what prompted them, and how they have impacted airlines, passengers, and the safety ecosystem. The session also looked at areas such as the NCAA's legal framework, its autonomy, the extent of its regulatory powers, and how it enforces standards. Another area the session focused on was the economic role of the NCAA and how it regulates market behavior in the aviation industry and ensures fair pricing, competition, and service quality. The Cape Town Convention, how it has been domesticated in Nigeria, and what the IDERA Accord means for aircraft financing and repossession were also discussed at the training. Speaking to the journalist, the facilitator Ubibi said it is important for journalists to consider cultural sensitivity, put interest of the public first, avoid exaggeration, mockery, and blame games in their reportage.
We need to avoid exaggeration. We need to avoid mockery. We need to avoid blame games. So, of course, depending on your writing style, because the audience are listening to a particular radio station or news outlet know what they are looking for, why they listen, and they like the style. So, if it's their style, but if it's not, you need to avoid exaggeration, we need to avoid mockery, we need to avoid blame games. And also need to put public interest first. So, public interest versus public fear. Your audience should come away informed and not afraid to fly. So we mentioned previously that we shouldn't put fear in people. So people are now wondering if it's safe to fly in Nigeria, or there are security issues in Nigeria or safety issues in Nigeria, and people are even afraid to fly. So they shouldn't finish reading from you and then they are scared. So you have the right to tell the stories, but you also have the responsibility to tell it right.
Some participants who spoke to ASO Radio and Television thanked the NCAA for the training, noting that they would leverage valuable insights gained to enhance their reporting of the aviation industry effectively. Assistant General Manager, Public Relations Department of the NCAA, Mrs. Uju Mbamalu, in an interview after the training, has this to say.
You know, when NCAA was in Lagos as the headquarters, we were dealing with League of Airports and Aviation correspondence last. And we worked in good relationship for them to do a good reportage. It's not when you see something, because we are the regulator of the industry in Nigeria, aviation. So you need to get some information, facts, accurate information before you go on air. So we have that good relationship. So when we came over here in Abuja, we intend to do the same. That is why we are training people, and this is the second time, and we intend to go more higher, because you can see you guys are doing the way it's supposed to do. And we have a director, Mr. Michael, who has listening ear. By any time you call, he can give you an answer to where you go.
The event, supported by the Director General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, Captain Chris Najomo, and the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimugu, focused on improving reportage and understanding of aviation regulation and consumer protection policies. Richard Alechinwanyebe, ASO Television News.